Welcome to an all-new Marvel cast, Explosion Network's hub of all things Marvel. Place to talk about everything MCU and beyond, from Avengers and Defenders to Soraya Quadir and Werewolf. My name's Ashley Hobley, the Explosion Network's cosmic superfan. Joining me today is Ultimate Ciaran Marchant.
Hey! Excited to be here for a very positive Wednesday. When we're recording this.
Okay. Also joining us, the astonishing Dylan Blight.
Vampire.
No, werewolf. That's what I said.
It's not a character. It's a type of thing. Like,
no, it's so the reference is werewolf. The comic book Werewolf by Night was the first Marvel comic to take place in Pakistan.
right.
Oh.
Deep cuts.
Deep cuts.
Oh,
Yes.
really going above and beyond.
And why we bring up Pakistan is we're talking about this week's episode of Ms. Marvel, Seeing Red, directed by Sharmeen, Obaid-Chinoy, teleplay by Sabir, Pirzada, A.C. Bradley, Matthew Chauncey, story by Sabir, Pirzada. Kamala travels around the world to solve the mystery of the bangle and her family's history. Dylan, what did you think of this week's episode of Ms. Marvel?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun. It was good to get out of the city, I guess, for an episode. Finally go meet some of the family and I assume that
Did you notice the end credits?
That they changed it?
They changed it, yes, to be Pakistan, not New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, they changed the opening credits as well.
I guess, yeah.
Because the opening credits featured more Arabic and stuff throughout them.
That's true. Okay.
It comes up like Miss Marvel, and then it comes up with Miss Marvel, and I assume...
Yeah, different.
I assume that's what they already said.
It could be anything.
I can't read it, but that's what
I can't read it.
Surprise, surprise.
It could be anything.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good, fun episode. I again had no idea. Like, I'm googling Red, whatever they're called after the episode, but that's fine. I have no Red Dagger. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but that's cool. That's fine. I just enjoyed the overall, just exploring I thought it Pakistan. I don't know if they actually filmed there. It looked like they filmed there. It looked really good. So I don't know if there's any truth to that, but definitely looked like it was filmed on location, or at least someone deserves a raise for their production design. But all of that aspect felt really good. And this episode, so it's what's the episode title?
Seeing Red.
Yeah, it reminded me of Turning Red.
I did think that when I turned it on.
There was like this the family dynamic and
because
like
she turned into a giant red panda. It's crazy.
Yeah, because she
very
turned into
very admirable.
Yeah, the grandmother turning up. The grandmother's just like very likable, lovable grandmother, stuff like that. So no, it was a really good episode. Shot well.
Wait, the grandmother in Turning Red isn't super likable.
Dylan really likes the one in Turning Red. You see, Dylan really connects with her.
No. Actually, I enjoyed the action scene that we got this episode. I thought that was fun to see.
Which
Kamala
one?
like using her powers. The like chase sequence, I guess, like where they like get into that fight at the end, in the little concave or whatever it is. And then we have a major cliffhanger, like what the fuck moment at the end, which was like, oh my god. So no, it was good. Show continues to be good.
Awesome. Ciaran, what do you think of this week's episode?
This episode, I think everything clicked for me. I really enjoyed this episode overall. I found it really fun for Kamala to be exploring her roots and exploring this kind of this culture and this environment that we don't really get to explore very much in Western media and in a lot of our mainstream shows. So to explore it from a more down-to-earth and a more cultured way, I think so is really positive. To learn more about Kamala's past and Kamala's ancestry, on top of, even though I rolled my eyes a little bit at the Red Dagger's name because I thought it was kind of horrible, but I think both members of the Red Daggers are super likable. I love the beach scene. I thought overall, yeah, it was just a really great episode. I was a bit worried that they were that the clandestine were turning slightly into Scooby-Doo villains at one point when they first kind of attacked the Red Dagger's hideout, but I think throughout that chase scene it kind of really set reasons that they are a deadly force and that they are a serious threat for not only Kamala Khan, for those around her as well. So, no, I think overall this episode is fantastic. It's really enjoyable. It was great.
Yeah, it was a really great episode. Another episode that's very much a coming of age story. First and foremost, superhero story. Second, it's telling a story that we're getting a lot more recently of a second generation immigrant going back to their homeland and not quite fitting in.
Did it remind you of the farewell?
Yes, it did.
I was like, where's your farewell reference?
That's the closer one to turning red. That grandma's really nice.
Maybe it's just because I've watched it soon and I was like, oh, more recently. I mean, but yeah.
Yeah. So her going back and not realizing she's not allowed to wear jeans to the restaurant. All the food being extra spicy. Why is the food so red? Because it hasn't been watered down like the Americans. But then, obviously we do get a lot of info dumps about different things and explaining more about Aisha and the clandestines coming from Noor, or the world is made of Noor. Noom? No, wait.
Noor is the energy that is
Noor.
Is the veil that separates the two worlds.
So that's what I'm assuming her powers is.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
She can utilize that. So whether that's tied into the bangle or not, or that allows her to do it, I don't know. But I'm sure we're going to find out soon. I think I didn't mind the Red Daggers thing because obviously the character Red Dagger is Kareem, who we meet. He's in the comics. He's called Red Dagger.
Red Dagger. Yeah,
he's Red Dagger.
It did refer to him as, even though they introduced us as the Red Daggers, it was then later referred to as, taking on the mantle of Red Dagger, as if it's a one-person kind of job.
Possibly, yeah. I'll just say, too many K names in this verse. Especially when I'm quickly trying to read notes. Kareem is the new guy, new vigilante, and Kamran is the boy, the boy that she was like before. But clearly she also has a crush on him, this guy here. It's going to be a whole love school air soon.
And then there's her friend, Kruno.
Yeah, Kruno, yes.
Yeah, Kruno.
Who knows? Who knows how that's going to all shake out. But yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. I really liked how she meets Kareem. They're fighting in that train station, having a big back and forth, and how'd you figure out I was American? You're wearing a shirt that says New Jersey. And it looks like she's kind of getting a handle on her powers, and then the dagger moment was very funny. Of her trying to throw it and just
it's skidding across the ground kind of limply.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, all the family dynamic stuff was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Especially getting a glimpse at her mum and grandmother, having that conversation. Probably such a true thing for immigrant families, I think. Especially ones that have left for another country. Okay.
And especially when a lot of cultures are very much more renowned with kind of inviting their elders into their homes to look after them as they grow older. To see that conversation play out very naturally and very normally in this series, I thought is a really nice window into something that I think a lot of viewers aren't going to experience or see in their lifetimes.
Absolutely. It was a very sweet moment. Even though it was kind of sad and depressing that she's I had to leave the country because you're crazy. It's kind of everybody was bullying me, so I had to leave the country.
Yeah, at first she's I didn't run away from you. I had to leave because you were causing me to get bullied. But I didn't run away from you. Come live with me now. Just don't be crazy.
I mean, no, she was oh, you come to America, you can say whatever crazy stuff you want. Nobody cares.
It's true. That's very, very true. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Kamala and the mum have a sweet moment over toffees.
really hard toffees, except for those toffees. Kamala, you got to suck on them a bit. It's a bit like a Werther's original, you know, or like that kind of toffee where
Yeah, it's not chewy toffee.
You don't chew it straight away.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was confused because, like, if I think toffee, I think they're hard anyway, right? So, is this meant to tell me that American toffees are like?
Probably.
I think you get like that super soft, chewy toffee that's more like
It's almost like gum.
Yeah, it's almost like a gum rather than you kind of got to suck on it a little bit and then kind of gum it to death and then
of course, because the Americans want to eat quickly.
The spicy food part I could totally relate to as someone who struggles.
100%. I really appreciate
food.
the dynamic of somebody
to show my white side, but
somebody coming from that culture, and you expect people from that culture to be good with curries and good with spices and stuff, and it's not, and you would feel like the odd one out. In that situation.
You would feel inferior. Yeah,
I think that's the thing though. Like it's a good example of like people sometimes subtle racisms and stuff where they expect, I guess, if you're like Pakistani or whatever, like Indian, anything, you're supposed to like love hot spices, but if you're born in America, born in Australia, but you know what I mean, like, but it's like even people have these subtle racisms where it's like, well, you love spices, right? And it's like, no, because I grew up in your fucking culture, not so yeah.
I mean, it's the equivalent of going, "Hey, all Australians love Vegemite."
Yeah,
like, if you didn't like
or shrimp on the
grow
barbie,
up here, or
or that English people like tea, like even though tea's delicious.
But they do.
But they do.
I'm sorry, but the thing I was thinking this whole episode, the whole thing is about petition. No, what is it?
Yeah, the
partition.
Partition. And then she has a line that this all happened because these bloody Englishmen decided to make this choice while they're leaving the country. I thought, bloody Englishmen ruin everything.
Englishman. No. It was a period of history where the fall of the British Empire and the return of a lot of land to a lot of people, and
and then they ruined everything for two countries.
They did, and they ruined. It was the bit that gets me is always when they're talking about when the Red Dagger and Kamala are talking about, why is the food this red? And it's like, did you whitewash Chinese food as well because you're American? Yeah. And it's really funny because in English culture, like there's such a thing of England going into different culture locations, bringing their food into England, but then also being like, can you make this more English,
as bland as possible?
Like make it just more like butter chicken is a dish invented because of the English. It was invented for English palates and to try and so people in England could eat Indian food and eat their culture and feel like they were doing that when it isn't. It's very much the same of if you go and eat Chinese in England, it is very different to legitimate Chinese. It is just it's an interesting aspect. So to have that brought forward into this discussion and along with the partition, I'm actually really excited. I think seeing Kamala at the end of this episode being kind of like transported into the partition in a vision of some kind.
Is it a vision?
Is it a vision?
She time traveled.
I mean, that's like seeing as we're here, I'm gonna is she is it a vision? Did she time travel into the past? Because obviously they highlighted it. Her grandmother said, "Hey, I got separated from my dad. It wasn't until somebody did the thing with the bangle. I saw a bunch of stars that led the way to."
I thought she was wearing the bangle.
Could be.
I thought it as she was wearing the bangle from her mother, and the bangle lit up stars to kind of show her way back.
Okay.
Like that
makes me lean towards more vision.
Well, the thing is, and I might be wrong on that, and this could be an opportunity for Kamala to interact, or I think Kamala somehow interacts with her great-grandmother in this situation.
Definitely going to show up in this.
But at the same time, I think nobody was taking notice of her or interacting with her in any way, or kind of... Because, she stuck out like a sore thumb in May.
They got their own shit going on. Like, literally people saying goodbye to their loved ones.
Yeah, but...
but if some random girl in weird clothes goes climbing on your train, I think someone would notice.
Under Doctor Who rules, people...
He's like, where's your ticket?
Time travel. It's fine. I'm saying she's there. I'm voting she's there. It's not a vision.
She's time travel?
Yeah, it's time travel.
Okay. No, I'm leaning back on vision. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's dead too, so
I think it's more a vision or like a reality that the bangle is created from the memories of its past wearers.
Or a way to talk to her great grandmother.
Yeah.
The whole chase sequence, I just had a quick read. It seems like it was all shot in Atlanta, so.
All shot where?
Atlanta.
Yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah.
Because I was going to be surprised if they actually went, like, combined COVID with everything else. It's like...
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously had those main streets. That wouldn't be super difficult. Well, it would be kind of difficult too.
Yeah.
Like,
but my point still stands. Like, good job to the production design team because it looks really fucking...
Yeah, a lot of it's good. I think, like, when the truck falls over and, like, there's a bunch of stuff that falls out of it, all that stuff looks like it's CGI.
Yeah. Well, it probably is.
It probably is, yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid chase sequence considering they're on foot again against these random bad guys that we only really got to know one episode ago, so we don't really have any idea of how much of a threat they are. But yeah, pretty solid. I will also say I really enjoyed like her being a tourist and like being swindled by these people who like taking advantage of tourists. Oh, 500 rupees for this piece of fabric. Yeah. Yeah, I take your photo. Give me the money. And then she proceeds to give the worst directions possible. So, yeah.
I think that's very much a very...
You take another left, and then...
A small right.
Go right.
Like you take like a little
small right.
Like...
And then like sorted left.
And then you ask somebody else.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was like her cousins literally left her
alone in a foreign country.
That's messed up.
They're like, that place is boring as fuck.
That place to go.
Also, B, the guy was instantly like, you look like you're lost. It's like, yeah, of course she fucking does. Boy.
Just wearing a New Jersey shirt.
She's from Jersey.
Anything else you want to discuss from this episode?
Good music again.
Music was great.
Yeah.
Start of the episode and then during the
I appreciate that the music transitioned into a more culturally diverse. Like it wasn't that the weekend more pop music that we've got while she's been in Jersey. It's transitioned into more Pakistani and Middle Eastern music taste. I think is really cool and really interesting audio design for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we got to see more of the sloth napping pillow throughout the episode, especially on the plane trip over. That whole play sequence was fun as well. Bringing up Sloth Baby again. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of her, Sloth Baby production work throughout the season. But there's always room.
She hasn't had the time. She's too busy.
That's true. Are we concerned there's 2 episodes left and she's stuck in Pakistan?
No.
Okay.
No. Because I'm going to guess, right, as with all superhero movies, there's going to be a climax in Pakistan where she finds out, and then the end of episode 5 is going to be, oh no, we've got to race back to America to save the day in America, or something's happening, or the clandestine have gone back to America to do something, or they're going to mess with Bruno.
And they go back to it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in comparison to other shows like Moon Knight, where it's like, how the fuck are they going to wrap all this up, like efficiently? I'm just like, the show doesn't actually have like a great.
It doesn't have high stakes or big. No, well, I guess it technically does have high stakes, but it doesn't have like.
Well, it's literally just a bunch of people that are trying to kill her or / steal her bangle, and that's it. Otherwise, the plot of the show is her discovering herself and her discovering her family's history with the bangle, and that's it. Like that is the core narrative.
It was awfully easy for the clandestine to escape the DODU.
They're government agents. What do you expect?
It was just very very easy.
They weren't using like meta dampeners or anything. I don't think so.
No, but like it was all just the case of like, why are they all together? Why haven't you separated them?
Because they had to escape. Also, they got to Pakistan real quick. That's like a very long flight.
I don't know. How long is it from America? Is it?
I want to say like 18 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's got to be something roughly like that.
I mean, they just got straight in the plane, right?
You're like, where's Kamala?
Somehow they figured it out.
Tracking. She texted her, "Hey, where are you?
Where you at home?
Having the best time in Pakistan."
I feel like they would
just probably check their social media.
Yeah, that's what that makes sense. Yeah,
didn't they
Sloth
say
baby
they,
in Pakistan?
found her based on her new or something? Like it was.
That's true.
No,
that
that wasn't it. The red dagger, like, but I don't know how far can you.
No, because I thought the thing when she first put on the bracelet, and that's how they brought all the clandestine to New Jersey, was them sensing an increase of new in the area and stuff.
That would make sense. Yeah. Also, with it further confirming they're from a world parallel to this Earth, one from many dimensions, further doubling down on this multiverse. But again, no explanation as why there's no incursions, unless they're setting up for the future. What do we expect next episode? So she's just going to figure out she's going to meet her grandmother. Are we getting back to the US? I mean, it's the weirdest thing. Like, there's 6 episodes. You spent 3 episodes building up this supporting cast, and then potentially 1.5 episodes we're not going to see any of them.
I either think
I'm going to say they spend the majority of the episode in the past because she's time traveled.
I'm not going to say in the
past. So 2 episodes we're not going to see any of this.
I'm going to say the first half of this episode will be her talking to her great grandmother. Second half will be dealing with the clandestine in Pakistan and then going back to America. And then I think the whole final episode takes place in America with her her reveal of her new outfit and kind of bringing herself to the forefront as a superhero.
Carol Van
Captain Marvel comes down last episode.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie though, this episode also didn't do me any favors in liking her eye mask thing.
It was.
You
could tell it was her.
Yeah, it did nothing.
Who was that fooling?
At least the red dagger scarf was like up over most of his face.
Over most of his face, he's wearing a mask, like, you know, a good boy. Being COVID safe. Also, solid. She's right. That's the lair hideout game. It's pretty strong. You know, behind a bunch of cookers, I want to say, was it?
It didn't really help them in the end, though, did it? So
no, because they broke the. You don't put like a giant glass stained window over the top. There shouldn't be any entrances except the actual entrance, unless you need a secret exit. But you know, you shouldn't be getting attacked from above. All right, let us know what you thought of this week's episode of Ms. Marvel by going to explosion.com/Twitter or jump into our Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at All New Marvelcast, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser, or leave us 5 stars anywhere you can leave 5 stars, or just tell people about the #1 Australian MCU podcast. You know, want to. And if you like this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. All right, next week, Thor: Love and Thunder comes out, so we'll be recording a spoiler cast Wednesday night. So next week's episode of Ms. Marvel will probably be pushed back. But make sure you watch that and join us next time for another all-new Marvelcast.